Can I have some
Shoutcasts. Generals, gentlemen.
Hello, what is up? Game number 2 here from the Generals, gentlemen. I am Ownage Machine.
And I am Archon Hawk. What is up, everybody?
Now, we have a very, very exciting match. The reason why this is exciting is because this is quite literally the favourite replay of all time. My favourite replay of all time. It is just a very close and intense game, so I'm pretty pumped to actually shoutcast it. Okay, so on the top we have Strauss as the China Nuke.
See him popping out 2 dozers, well, an extra dozer, so he has 2 dozers now and selling off his command center. It's a very standard China move.
So probably going to see a double war factory opening, otherwise he wouldn't risk selling off the command center when you don't need it for that early aggression. Strike going for some very nice walling off here. He obviously knows how to wall off his supply.
Also going for some early map control strikers, sending a slave up the side to build a tunnel network.
So he'll probably use that to actually push against this tunnel here, which will be very good because China do kind of hurt a lot if you manage to put their trucks back. They really need all the early start they can get against GLA because of how strong the GLA early aggression can be. Strauss trying to use one of his trucks to actually take out that worker trying to build the tunnel, but he has actually positioned it exactly so it blocks the truck's movement off. Likewise with the second truck, we did actually just manage to miss that. It's a very interesting style of play to actually see Strauss go for a early forward supply. The reason why that would be is because to use the trucks to take down those tunnels, which would have been a very devastating blow if he actually managed to take down that one as well.
With GLA being very vulnerable in the fact that their workers, their slaves, are very vulnerable to any type of vehicle, so either dozers or the supply trucks, which you saw from Strauss, can run them over very easily. And
here comes a technical, probably doing a tech terror, but the Battlemaster does manage to take it down. There goes some RPGs and a worker. Those radiation shells just being too much for those rocket troops. The worker, though, is probably going to run away into the building. That's going to be important for scouting, because he can now actually see the entirety of these trucks here.
That was a bit of a blow for Strike, losing the technical and 2 RPGs.
The Battlemaster's now going to push against this supply by the looks of it. Unless they're... whoop, here we go. I was going to say they might be waiting for some more anti-infantry ability, like a flame tank or a Gatling tank. But they don't really need them because of how powerful those nuke shells are.
We do see Strike splitting up his RPG troopers in order to minimize the effect of that nuke.
Very good placement there. So now he actually managed to take down those one Battlemaster by the 2 RPGs, which he wouldn't if they were together.
We do see Strauss now with 3 supplies. He has that forward supply as well as his own 2. We are not seeing anything from Strike from that forward tunnel on the left to assault Strauss's left supply.
So if he can manage to hold off these 3 supply, he's in a very good position. The Battlemaster trying to take out some workers now, because he has walled off but not around the side, so he's going to go in there and wreak some damage.
We see slaves going down.
And here comes a rebel bike, probably to capture that oil, so that'll actually put him up in terms of the economy with Strauss, because he has managed to get his own oil as well. If he can get both, then they should be pretty even fitting.
Yep. We see another tunnel by the looks of things going out from Strike on the left hand side.
He wants to have a very strong presence here on the left side, as well as the Battlemaster now trying to take down some workers, but it looks like he's walled off entirely, so I doubt he actually can
get it in there, which is a very good job by Strike, good building placement, and we do see Strike capturing that top oil as well, which is going to be great for him.
Strauss getting a helix now, that could be potentially very devastating if he gets that full of rocket troops. He could go down taking out tunnels, but the problem is because they are actually stealthed, he's going to have a hard time finding them. Quad popping out, but it wasn't enough to actually take that down.
Do see a couple of RPG troopers going down before getting into that bunker, which Strauss has popped up in order to defend his flank.
More Battlemasters taking out some workers. He's definitely putting Strike behind, but these oils are going to keep him in the game. The Helix now repairing because it did actually take damage from that quad. So now he's got the battle bunker, he can fill it with RPGs, he can go poop on kids with those RPGs. Helix is a very, very strong at 1.4.
And we do see a capture down the bottom. We have a hijack from Strike. He has managed to capture a Battlemaster.
Well, I missed that. Well, the Nuke Battlemaster is a very good thing to have because all Strike can get as stealth is quads, so having some form of tank can be very good at warding off things like flame tanks, especially as the Nuke Battlemaster.
We do see a bunker in that first helix, so he's chucking some RPG. He's chucking some RPG troopers in there.
And a second helix, but more importantly, this bunker's going down. He took out most of the RPGs in there to actually get in that helix. Okay, so here comes the captured Battlemaster trying to take out some trucks, but wasn't in time. Quad's now going for a really strong push. All he can have to defend these is these helixes. Will they be able to do enough damage to defend that supply? Nope, the supply does go down, the helix coming in, getting gunned down by those quads.
Very bad.
But doing enough damage to temporarily kill them for the nuke tank, taking all the glory. But he does go down. So he did manage to hold that off, but he did actually lose his supply, so it wasn't in time. So many tunnels. He has such a strong presence here on the left side of the map. Battlemaster going for some suicide. Bam!
Bam!
Damaging all of those quads, but not enough to actually take some down. Here comes a stealth rebel here, trying to capture that supply. It's only going to work if he isn't actually paying attention. Almost killed him accidentally, but now he does see it capturing, so he might actually try and kill that. Airfield is going down to these quads here. Dozer trying to escape its fate from these quads.
Strike doing an awesome push on the left-hand side, really coming in there with quad RPG combos. We do see a helix with a Gatling.
That can do
Strauss.
quite a fair bit of damage to some quads with that Gatling cannon. But very, very important thing to note is that he has actually got his prop center, a really early prop center. So now he has an Overlord, which can do so much damage to quads and RPGs with a Gatling cannon upgrade.
We do see Strike now having the superior economy. He does have both supplies and both oils at the moment.
One thing to note, the reason why he has his listening post is for detection. He can just opt to get a Gatling cannon on the Overlord instead for the detection, but now he can get a prop center instead of having to get the detection, which is a very good thing to have because it gives a huge rate of fire increase as well as some extra regen. So there's going to be an engagement here between a couple of RPGs and quads. He wants to take down that Battlemaster, so it goes boom, but with some good ECM micro, this rocket's just deflected most of the time. Comes a Black Lotus now, taking down that oil. That's going to give him all the economy he needs. Just taking down that tunnel.
Go down.
Good placement by the Battlemaster, getting in right balls deep into those quads to go boom. So he did lose quite a fair bit of quad. There goes his power. So much is going on, I can barely even keep
Wow,
up.
Strike is doing really well. He's pushing on the side with the quad RPG combo, coming right in, taking out. As we saw, the power just went down there. Oh, this is very back and forth.
Strauss has to keep these dozers alive because he has no command center. He has no way of rebooting them if he actually loses them. So he's been very good at keeping these dozers alive by positioning them well.
We do see that War Factory staying up from Strauss, which is a good, very good.
Very important thing when he only has one supply, because any loss he has is very hard to replace. So a second Overlord now, which is a very good thing as Nuke, because they do fire the radiation shells, so they can take down everything the stealth can actually throw at them.
Oh, those quads going down. Oh, that was not
Very
good.
poor micro by Strike. I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish. He's getting hijackers now, but the hijackers won't stand a chance with the listening post there to detect.
We don't see him moving it
They
in.
go
No.
down with those radiation cells. Here come more hijackers, probably trying to take over some trucks or dozers. Garrison is actually taking out that barracks. So he's being pushed back so hard right now. He needs to hold out until he can make use of Nuke's late game power with, you know, Overlords, MiGs, Nuke cannons, that sort of thing. But Strike just having such an economic advantage with, you know, the three supplies.
Also,
Quads.
great map control as well, throwing
alright.
down tunnels on both sides and some stuff down the middle as well. So he's all over the map, whereas Strauss has been pushed back right to his main base.
Taking down his oil. Surprised he didn't try and capture it, but nonetheless, that's okay, because now there is no way Strauss can actually get that back.
We do see Strike's forward supply, which he built on Strauss's secondary supply, that is going to be going
Will he defend
down.
it, or will he just focus on this push here? Looks like he's going to ignore that. Didn't actually bother selling it though, which is strange. But funnily enough, he didn't try and finish it off. He should send probably that listening post to finish it off. The quad's gunning down through some of those trucks, but aiming just for the supply. Unfortunately, I just missed that. Yeah, did take a dozer. What he really is probably trying to do is build an oil. Here we go, build a power station. This quad's going down. The thing about the power plants is, if you guys don't know, if GLA actually managed to get their own power plant, then GLA's production time is actually doubled. It's the same concept as when China or USA, when their power goes down, they actually lose half of their production speed. It's the same thing for GLA.
We do see artillery strike coming in here from Strauss.
So that's going to do so much damage if it lands. It'd probably take out the palace and maybe the supply. But the quads actually managed to take it out in time.
No carpet bombing there, so everything stays up.
That would have been devastating, taking out the arms dealer and the supply stash. So Strauss is definitely in a bad position at this stage. He is re-getting his supply trucks, but he's definitely been pushed back. So many Jarman, now the Jarman's going to take out an Overlord. That's a very good blow because he has no barracks. He can't actually recruit that unless he has RPGs in the listening post. Here we go. Ungarrison listening post. Jarman not being there to actually take down those RPGs. That means that Overlord would have been there for the taking. Some more quads pushing down the side here.
We do see Strike taking massive advantage of his map control and tunnels. When Strauss goes left, Strike goes right. He's
making use of GLA's mobility, which he really has to, especially stealthily. He has no way of having a big brunt force of attack.
This could be very bad for the quads in here. We see ECM shutting down quads and Overlords coming in to rip their shit.
Bang, bang, there goes some quads. Unfortunately, doesn't look like he'll get it.
That supply will not go down.
That was a pretty big blow for Strike. There goes quite a fair bit of quads. Here comes a cluster mine, probably going to put on the side to make sure any counterattack will be thwarted. Good thing he didn't put it any closer to the tunnel because that would have actually detected it. And
we have actually seen Strauss has actually captured the bottom oil while we weren't looking. So that's going to be helpful for his economy, given he only has one supply at the moment.
There goes his last dozer. He needs to recrew that. That dozer is a very, very crucial thing. If he loses that to Strike, then he's going to have no way of actually building apart from the command center that he just bought. Good timing.
Awesome.
Good timing. But still, though, it is very expensive.
We see a battle bus coming in from Strike.
Going to get shut down. He needs to position that ECM better.
Not well done.
If that ECM was closer, that would have made those rocket mitts a lot more than they did at that position.
Might have been a better idea for Strike to micro that battle bus out of the way before actually losing it, but we do see those supply trucks getting ripped by the RPGs that came out of the battle bus.
Those ECMs are so important against battle buses and RPGs because they are just missing and the radiation shells being strong enough to kill them. Jarman now sniping Overlords left, right and centre. It's definitely putting Strauss behind with all of those Overlords that he has to recrew, especially that he has no barracks. So he's just relying on listening posts.
And we're seeing Jarman going down here, a bit of stealth detection, and he does
manage to get the dozer.
Doesn't quite manage to get to the dozer, which would have been very good for Strike, given that it would have made Strauss rebuild another dozer, as he doesn't actually have any dozers at the moment to rebuild buildings.
I don't think Strauss is going to miss that Jarman. He wrecked so much havoc on his Overlords. But yeah, Strike is in a very good position. He has the power as well as 3 supplies.
And he's taking up with battle buses as we speak. And we see another carpet bomb coming in from Strauss that could really rip those battle buses and RPGs if he doesn't get them into the tunnels.
And if the quads won't be able to take them down. But interesting enough, there's been the oil there the entire time. He hasn't taken that out. Come on, carpet bomb, do some damage, take out that power.
Awesome job.
Very good.
Very good targeting there.
Probably better than taking out workers because you can rebuild workers, but you can't rebuild a power plant. So now he no longer has double production speed. Coming out of battle bus trying to do some damage, but he realizes that there is a huge army there.
And ECMs, which is going to shut down that battle bus, and those Overlords will... Oh, just gets away.
Things with ECMs, if you guys don't know, is they can't actually shut down vehicles and deflect at the same time. So that was a decision by Strauss to not take down the battle bus, because otherwise he would have taken damage. Another engagement, another battle bus going down. Those ECMs just proving too much for the battle buses. But he is sending them in single-handedly against army. If he pushed them together, then they would have had a lot more damage done. But the battle bus does actually manage to take down the other Overlord with Jarman's help. I don't think Strauss likes Jarman much at this
Overlord,
stage.
Good work job there.
Very good work trying to keep that down so he can't capture it, but not enough because of just the sheer velocity of RPG troops.
And we do see that Jarman in there as well, which could snipe one of those Overlords.
ECM managing to not actually take down the Overlord, but doesn't matter because he's trying to go for the supply.
Well, it may go down.
May go
With
down.
some nuke shells taking out the troopers. It does not go down.
ECM just keeping that supply alive. ECMs are just so important against GLA because all they have is rocket troops, especially as stealth, because Scorpions, Marauders, they just don't stand a chance against Overlords. All you can use are RPGs, so the ECMs are just so crucial. But what I really don't get is why he just hasn't either taken out or captured this oil, because
that's a lot of money flowing in for Strauss, especially when he had such a poor economy to start just
right.
before. It would have been a really big blow to be able to take out that oil or capture it or do something, especially when it's his own oil. It's very close to his base and Strauss isn't anywhere near it.
Ooh,
We see
Jarman
some
did
more
miss
mines.
those cluster mines, but now he doesn't actually know they're there if he was paying attention. But yeah, it's interesting to see how many Overlords he can actually manage to get out, despite what position he is. But he is mining from middle this entire time. So I think Strike is being a bit poor decision making because he has been constantly attacking where he can easily defend, as opposed to taking out these poorly defended trucks, as well as the oil that is just sitting there doing nothing.
We do see another artillery strike coming in from Strauss at the moment. That's going to have a bit of impact on Strike's base.
Where it lands.
Where are we going? Nobody
Might go
knows.
for Palace, might go for supplies. Yes, does take out the supplies, but the
Supplies.
thing is with GLA, once they get that the increased building
The barricades.
upgrade, I don't know what it's called, barricades, then you actually can't take them out as easily, which is a very important thing.
We do see Strauss pushing back from where Strike had massive map control. We do see Strauss pushing back on both sides, taking out the tunnel networks of Strike on the left.
More battle buses here, very good positioning, taking out those trucks, now getting the garrison to hopefully get that supply down, but the ECMs once again keeping those tunnel alive. So we are seeing absolutely beautiful ECM micro by Strauss here. It's keeping him in the game. Without that ECM micro, he wouldn't have stand a chance against all of these battle buses. Swapping forth between garrisons, trying to run them over, but he did actually miss it. He needs to get a flame tank because the rocket troops doing splash now because the ECMs are so close together. He's actually damaging both at once. Strauss going for a huge push against his base now, but there is actually rocket troops inside of that palace, so that's gonna...
Palaces are nuts, completely nuts when they have troopers inside them. So, and with that ECM going down the bottom, it's gonna really rip those Overlords and...
Bam. Battle buses defending the middle as well as trying to keep off the bottom. So very aggressive pushes here. Rocket troops trying to take down that prop center because that's without that, there goes pretty much everything that Strauss has keeping him in the game. Those Overlords, those ECMs. The Jarman is ripping through all of his rocket troops.
And prop center will go down. Really
going
good
for a
job
troop
there.
caller, trying to get some more.
Should be yep.
Now the thing is with what are they called? Troop callers is they do actually detect as well. So they are definitely a better Jarman counter than what listening centers are, because listening centers will detect, but they have no way of actually killing Jarman.
And just to keep you updated on the oil down the bottom, Strauss still has it.
Still has the oil. So that's a very, very big mistake by Strike. I'm very, very convinced that he would not be in the game at this stage if that oil was actually taken down. So now those pushes did backfire pretty hard, and that's entirely because of that palace. If that palace wasn't a man, there would have gone not only the palace, the tunnels, the supply. So it's always very important as a GLA player to make sure you have your palace manned and in an important position, because it can make such a big difference. Here comes another plane dropping a EM. Okay, so what that does, it'll now prevent, any kind of buildings being used. He can't mine, he can't build out of the barracks, he has no mini-map. So that's going to make it a bit harder for him to actually manage what's going on. So we're having some stealth rebels now actually capturing some buildings. He might manage to get that supply because he has nothing in the area. He does sell it to prevent it. It is very important to sell whatever's being captured so you get the money. They don't use it, because then they can sell it and get the money. So it's very important. Jarman here, probably going to snipe some trucks down. It's going to hurt his economy even more than it already is. Stealth rebels being unable to be detected unless you have detection, which the listening post is doing. Okay, Strike now is actually managing to harvest the middle supplies, so that's very good for him. So now it has flipped around as him having the superior economy, as opposed to just recently when we saw it flip again to Strauss. Because the thing to note at this stage is Strike's secondary natural supply has gone down, as well as Strauss almost is. Here comes another plane, maybe a carpet bomb. bomb, not sure. Oh, going for that tunnel and that garrison, because now with that garrison down, there's actually no more garrisons left apart from that one, which isn't going to protect that middle supply.
So we're going to see a push from Strauss now that garrison's down into the middle supplies of Strike.
He needs to take that down, because with that gone, they're on equal fitting. We have one supply against one supply, but he can easily get that going. So he needs to take that down, put him in a very good position. RPG's going to be doing some damage, but that garrison having too few troops to take down any battle masters. Interesting enough, Derek still there. So yeah, the troops are now taking down that supply with no RPGs left to defend. He has nothing nearby.
We're not seeing a lot of movement by Strike in unit production. I'd say he'd have a bit of stuff in the tunnels. He's probably saving up. I'm not sure what he's really doing, but he's not really defending those middle supplies at all.
Probably waiting for that tunnel to go down.
Up. There we go.
But there is one close enough. Yeah, interesting enough to not see any units to come to defend that. But I guess at this stage he probably didn't have enough too, so he figured might as well not suicide units to achieve no result. Because we have seen that before with quads engage overlords and just take no effect. So another garrison here. The garrisons are so strong, but the ECMs are actually managing to make them do little damage. So rocket troops versus ECM overlords, it's a common theme in this game.
And there was a little quad push by Strike on the right hand side, but they went down to the cluster mines you saw Strauss put up before.
Just that. Very good positioning, because that would have taken out all of his trucks. So good cluster mine positioning there. There goes the tunnel down, so he can take out this supply as well. That's going to be a huge blow, because he would have invested a lot of money into these middle supplies. He has managed to keep his workers alive, which is good micro, but losing that supply is a huge investment that sets him back. If he invested those in black markets instead, he would have had a safer economy, but it wouldn't be as strong. So it's a bit of a gamble you got to make. You know, do I go for black markets? Do I go for supplies? You got to make the right decision, or it can really bite you in the ass.
We do see a lot of unit production from Strauss at the moment. Not a lot of economy from the looks of things, though. He's moving supply trucks to the middle. Looks like he might have run out of supplies at his base, at his main base.
Keep in mind, it does show me supplies there, but I'm pretty sure it's bugged because this is a cracked copy of the game, and so it doesn't register it being the correct version, despite the fact that it is. So garrison push here. The garrison is all that's keeping Strike in this game. Another artillery strike. Bam! Managing to take out that supply.
Those slaves all going down.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get level 3 artillery. The past 2 attempts they've only been level 2, so they haven't been able to take down the supply. But even still, it's only a level. It's the hull, so he can rebuild.
Now, Overlord, thanks to Jarman, we had a snipe, and that Overlord is now Strikes, which is really big. Not a huge blow, but a bit of a blow to Strauss. Now, Strike actually has some tanks.
Taking down these garrisons, a very good move by Strauss here, because those garrisons make such an advantage to those rocket troops. Now, I did actually miss that RPG encounter, this Overlord counter. What I'm assuming has happened, though, is Jarman would have sniped it, and he would have called in a rebel ambush, because that's a very good way to surely capture an Overlord.
Strauss is really benefiting from these generals' abilities at the moment. I don't think Strike has managed to throw down. Maybe he has managed. Yep, there we go, a command center as well, but it has not used, as far as I can see, any general's abilities at the moment.
That's right. China Nuke has... Oh, there goes Anthrax Bomb.
Oh, here we go.
Spoke too soon.
Oh.
I'm not sure what it hit. Probably the trucks, maybe a dozer or so, but did manage to miss most of his army. The worker trying to actually clear those mines. There goes some more cluster mines. He definitely likes those mines there.
Right on that hole. That was really well.
Which is going to be detected. But despite being detected, they still can kill units unless he actually clears them out. So that's definitely putting him in a position where he has to do that before he can actually use that tunnel.
We see Strauss capturing the last few supplies on the map with that, with the middle, in the middle.
Okay, here comes his Overlord, but it is a simple numbers game. His Overlord is only 1 against the very many. Airfield going down, so that's going to be interesting. You're probably going to see another bunker helix because they're very, very strong against basically everything other than quads, which unfortunately is pretty much all that stealth really builds. Might try and get a Gatling cannon to actually scout the map and clear out some stealth tunnels. That would be a good way to go. Oh, nope, bunker helix.
Very good.
Again, probably trying to clear out some bunkers more than anything.
Oh, good job by the Overlord from Strike taking out. Oh,
here come the
go,
quads.
and the helix will go down.
Beautiful response. That was very good timing because that helix is a huge setback. What I don't get, though, why he would go to such measures to counter that Overlord when he can just get an ECM tank to do the exact same thing. because it's not such a gamble. But it does kind of confuse me why he would get a helix against so many quads at the stage. Anyway, so losing the trucks. Jarman taking out an Overlord. He's definitely well equipped because of all of those RPGs in those tunnel networks.
You see an EMP going down from Strauss in order to stop any troops coming out of that tunnel network.
More importantly, I think it was just to take out Jarman. If he actually managed to EMP that tunnel, Jarman would have had no escape. But unfortunately, he did just get it a fraction too late, so Jarman was able to escape. Because otherwise the listing post would have actually detected him and taken him out. Because at this stage, any kill is very important. Oh, look!
Oh, the oil! And we see after, like, I don't know, like 20 minutes, we see Strike capturing that oil. I bet he's hitting himself in the face very hard right now.
I sure would be. So that's going to be very important now, because that oil is pretty much the only income left, apart from these two supplies, which are in a very accessible position for both players. So MiGs now, probably to take out Jarman, because MiGs are very, very good Jarman killers, but also to probably kill some workers wherever they might be.
We do see a Black Lotus moving down through middle as well from Strauss.
I'm not sure where that is.
Just
oh, there we go. Ha! Ha! Recapturing that. Oh, that's quite funny. After 20 minutes, gets the oil, but nope, not to last.
Lotus will take it back. And
Lotus.
we do see a huge army from Strauss just pushing down this side. We haven't really seen a lot of response from Strike.
Apart from the Jarman.
There's the Jarman.
But realizes that, nope, he can take out the Overlord and then get the hell out of there. Jarman is not that much of a one-man army, because he needs to rebel ambush and capture that Overlord for himself. But it's probably on cooldown.
That is a good combo, guys, in case you were wondering. Jarman snipes, rebel ambush, and that Overlord can do a lot of damage within an army, a China army.
Sneak
attack!
Right in Strike's base, taking out that airfield. There goes his MiGs. I'm trying to take him out, but just a little bit too late.
There is the army we were looking for from Strike. Looks like he's building that up over the last...
running into the tunnel, he needs to go away from that.
Not a good idea.
But Quad's taking little damage from RPGs.
Has to back it off.
This is going to be a very game-changing engagement here. Jarman and Lotus just missing each other. Okay.
Jarman looks like he will go down.
Unfortunately, Jarman has no chance. But these looks like the only armies they have, because all the economy income left is this oil. So basically there's going to be no big army. He might start selling tunnels to try and quickly get an emergency response. But here comes an artillery strike. That's going to take some important buildings out that he can't afford to replace at this stage. Come on, take...
Oh! Missed.
Bam, I thought he was going for the tunnel.
Yeah, I thought he might have been doing it.
Does go for the palace, but that is a very important thing, because now that palace is so weak, he can just take it out.
Which could have been very dangerous to this army, as we only see one ECM in there, but and it is garrison. That was a very, very good move by Strauss.
Palace now defending, but with that little health, it has no chance of actually doing any impact.
That could have been... we see a lot of damage from that Overlord.
That Overlord keeping that palace alive. He should have not gone for the palace, though. He should have just gone around and taken
side. That was a very bad exchange for Strauss. Did
right.
lose a fair few troops in that exchange. Strike in with a chance now.
Oh dear, because you got to remember now, they have no income apart from this oil, but GLA has the cash bounty, so every time they kill a unit, he actually does get some money back, as well as the fact that scrap does give him money. Here comes another mines.
Right on that tunnel.
Denying that tunnel, that's going to be very important for actually defending that palace. But the worker does come to clear some mines.
Looks like we're actually going to see another change of oil.
Yep, the Rebel Bike
finally
capping out that oil. Good movement by getting the bike, because they do move a lot faster than ordinary rebels will take too long.
Strauss has cleared the right flank of tunnels from Strike. So Strike having not as much map control at the moment. He's not as spread out, and he's very...
Anthrax bomb coming. Rebel ambush, probably going to take out some buildings. Sneak attack here. There's going to be a
really good combo, generous combo here.
Pushes. Oh, those quads.
Awesome.
Come on, Battlemaster.
If we could see a capture from those rebels in the top corner. Mines all over the place. That's
very good mine
bad.
placement. He knows he needs to mine that command center, otherwise he can lose it, which is a very important blow. He does run away because he actually sneak attacked his own tunnel. Very, very big blow.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he went for the Anthrax there, doing damage to his own troops. There wasn't a lot of Strauss's troops up there. It does seem a bit, doesn't seem like something Smart to do.
Very important blow, because that could have been a very game-changing moment if he actually was able to push that much longer, because now his army's finally back in time. Here comes Carpet Bomb.
Does pop that Overlord back in time.
Very good micro on the ball, making sure to escape those units into the tunnel.
We did see up the top the Overlord actually being stopped before it went all the way out of the tunnel. That means he's able to pop it back in very fast and avoid something like that Carpet Bomb.
S-key is your friend in this game. Stopping is a very good thing to do. So here comes a Lotus now trying to capture that oil, because whoever keeps this oil is going to be in this game. That's the only income they have. There are no black markets, and there sure isn't any internet centers or hackers.
And there's no funds left in the game to be able to support that, so this oil is very, very, very important at the moment.
That's right, it's going to be oil versus cash bound, not cash bounty.
We do see Strauss taking out that barricade there, stopping Strike from garrisoning that or anything like that, so that's a good move there, defending the oil.
Especially as Strauss has no infantry himself, so he needs to take out as many garrisons as he can. More rebel bikes here going to capture that prop center. We're going to see
a capture on that prop center, and I don't see it. I don't think anything. No way. That Strauss doesn't have any troops near it or any buildings.
He will give him some fair bit of. Come on, sell up. Don't let him get it. Oh, if he manages to get that, oh, there we go.
There's the sell order. Very good.
Very good, because if he managed to capture that thing, he would have had 1,000 money to himself, which could be enough to, for example, rebuild German and make such a big impact. But Lotus now is going to capture something, but the tunnel right in the way of her. It's going to
detect her and
good positioning, making sure to prevent her from dying for that tunnel. Stealth Rebel now trying at the top, probably going to take out a supply or whatever he tries to capture. He'll probably forget about it and then leave it to capture something, because we did see firsthand just how one rebel can do so much. And that is a very advantage of Stealth General, is that the rebels are cloaked, which means they can do so much cloaking damage if you can actually position them correctly.
Especially when Strauss doesn't have a lot of troop mobility, so if Strauss is pushing and rebel ambushes come in to try and capture his buildings, he doesn't really have a lot in the way of countering that.
That is exactly right, whereas GLA can easily tunnel and laugh at their face, but the rebel does go down anyway, so there goes that possible way of getting some income.
Something there is to note that Strike has actually gone through probably 3 Germans during this game, and German is fairly expensive. He has been doing good work with it. We see radar vans. Those quads will take down Black Lotus.
But unfortunately, she was unable to do any damage because she just had so many tunnels everywhere to actually prevent her buildings, which is good placement. But now that Lotus down, giving Strike a fair bit of money to actually spend the cash bounty.
We do see Strauss grabbing the last few supplies in the middle that are left in the game. There has been a few more left, and having the oil at the moment.
There we go. So with the oil and the supply, he's definitely got this game if he can hold it off. But here comes another rebel bike. Rebel bikes pretty much only being useful for their capturing. I don't think anyone actually ever uses them for their combat, because they're pretty poor damage for their cost. So he needs to defend that, because with that oil he can actually manage to muster up a defense.
Here we go, we see another artillery strike coming in. This may be level 3 by now, which could do some serious damage to Strike.
He needs to take out that palace, because with that palace he can get German battle bosses, which are just cost effective for their price.
Really good combo there with the carpet bomb. That palace will go down, which is very, very important. Strike doesn't have a lot of defense now. Oh, surprisingly, Strauss. Oh no, we see in the back sneak attack. That Overlord has actually been stopped by the ECM, which is a pretty crucial blow, because he doesn't have a lot of tanks.
All he has is quads now, which are just being ripped apart by these battle bosses, but Jarman does take out the second battle boss, which would have been enough to actually take
and Jarman does go down to those mines. Pretty poor.
Heroic mines. He knew they were there. He saw them before with the rebels. But now the army comes in to defend it, but will the Overlord come back in time? Yes, it will.
Yes, it will.
The Overlord is being vetted, so that's going to be so strong compared to these Vet Zero Overlords. But the ECM does take it down. If he can finish it off while it is cloaked, the quads are trying to take it down, but no.
That Overlord will go down, and the command center takedown was very important by Strike. And that means no general's abilities there, which was doing a lot of damage to Strike in the later part of this game.
Very good ECM micro there, managing to take down that Overlord. We have another command center going down. He needs those artillery and those nukes, because that's all he can really do to penetrate the defenses, which he no longer has because he shot them down with nukes and artillery. Oil being captured now.
Very good.
This should have been happening the entire game.
This should have been happening a lot earlier, whereas Strauss had it for like 20 minutes. It was really, really...
Another bike.
Another bike. Looks like it... Nope. And there is no...
mines.
Like a boss.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
beautiful.
Incredible work by
Probably
Strike. He's a masterful bike rider.
I'm sure it's unintentional as all hell, but it looked impressive anyway. Okay, trying to hit the prop center again. That is an absolutely fantastic play there, because that prop center is not only the 1,000 money, but also the fact that he needs them for Overlords and ECMs, which is all you can deal with late game GLA. But now at this stage it just seems so futile, because Strike has no army against Strauss's huge Overlord ECM listing post combination, which can just rip through anything Strike can pull out. And Fact Bomb though, will it take out the Overlords? Nope.
Nope.
He didn't position it
Good
in front
micro,
of him.
moving them away.
Not so much that, I think he was just expecting him to
Yeah,
actually
it was
move
actually,
into
yeah,
it.
moving forward.
Oh, that could have been
Yeah.
a very game-changing moment, but now he has no way of defending this oil. Will he kill it? Will he capture it? Nope, he does
Just
leave it.
going in for the push. He knows that Palace is down now, so Strike doesn't have a lot in the
That's
way of
right.
base defenses, just tunnels, which aren't very good against Overlords, funnily
He
enough.
needs a Jarman, but probably going to get his Lotus again, capping that
Yep.
oil. At this stage, it looks over. I don't think there are any way Strike can get it back from this.
Strike really has no
That's
economy.
right.
He has no units left in the tunnels to pop out. It's not looking
How
good.
do you know? But the thing is with the Anthrax bomb down, that's what all he's banking on. He needs the Anthrax bomb to work, and unfortunately he did miss it, which would have taken out everything
There
except
we
the
go.
Overlords. There's a
Strike is
GG.
gone.
Very exciting game. Back and forwards. You wouldn't know who's going to win at any stage, because it looks so one-sided until they make some very, very awesome comebacks. So very beautiful play by both players, in particular Strauss. But the thing that really confused me was the oil.
Yeah, that oil was a really crucial blow to Strike, because Strauss actually had, at one point, had only one or two supplies for a lot of that game, whereas, but had that oil for like a good 20 minutes without Strike capturing it, which is pretty poor move, because there was a lot of income coming in for Strauss.
It was keeping him in the game. He was so pushed back. He had such little map control and such little supplies, but that oil was just ticking. So that was a huge, huge blunder by Strike, not actually taking down that oil. So I'm sure, yes, he was kicking himself. Other than that, the other thing I think really, really put him Strike behind is when he had such that advantage, he didn't really abuse it. Instead of just taking up and just rushing a battle bus or just trying to get some secure black marks to keep him in the game, he kept kind of wasting quads. He would suicide them against Overlords. He would use them in engagements that were really poorly judged. So I think basically Strike should have had this game, but due to a couple of poor decisions, that he actually did manage to give Strauss enough time to get back in there.
Very good game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That is one of our favourite replays. We see a lot of back and forth, which is really good.
That's right. I do love aggressive games. Aggressives are my favourite type of play. Balls deep, aggression, economic pressure, harassment. So that's what I like to see. That's what all our games are going to be about, because I don't like watching people camp a lot. Alrighty, well, thank you for watching. It's been a blast. See you next time. Gentlemen, signing off.